Good morning, this is your Stat Sensei, Mr. Sensei, and this is test review part three. So, the number of typhoons reaching the west coast of the United States was recorded for each of the last 10 decades by NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Summary measures are shown below. So, we see we have a minimum of nine, a lower quartile of 15, a median of 18, a max of 25, an upper quartile of 19, and our sample size is 10. So we have 10 data points. And please remember, min, lower, median, upper, and max make our five number summary. Determine whether or not there are outliers you're using the IQR method. Well, remember IQR is just Q3 minus Q1, and our lower fence has to be to be an outlier, it has to be less than Q1 minus 1.5 IQR or greater than Q3 plus 1.5 IQR. So, first thing we need to do is calculate our IQR, which is going to be 19 minus 15, which gives us an IQR of 4. So now that we have our IQR of 4, we can calculate our fences. Please remember the 1.5 is actually just part of the formula. All right. It's a built-in number. It's the same every single time. So Q1 in this case was 15 minus 1.5 times our IQR of 4, and that equals 9. Well, our minimum value is 9. So this equals our minimum value. And remember, it has to be less than. So 9 is not an outlier. There are no outliers on the low side. So none on the low side. On the high side, we have an upper fence of based on Q3 plus 1.5 IQR. Well, Q3 is 19. So 19 plus 1.5 times our IQR of 4 is 25. Well, our max value is 25. And remember, you have to be greater than 25, and 25 is not greater than 20. 25 is not greater than 25. So there's no outliers on the high side. So no outliers on either side, although our min and our max are actually on the fences. And that's what we've drawn here to show us that, because this was our min value and our max value. To be an outlier, our min value would have to be down here, or our max value would have to be somewhere up here above the fence. All right, dealing with the same problem, but we've now changed the numbers. The min is 13 and the max is 24. Our IQR, our lower quartile, or our Q1. I'm just going to label that Q1 so that we know. This is Q1 and this is Q3. So the first thing we need to do is calculate our IQR, and IQR is Q3 minus Q1. So in this case, 24 minus 13, excuse me, not 24 minus 13, 18 minus 16. So 18 minus 16 gives us a IQR of 2. Once again, that 1.5 that you see in the formula, that number is true for all of these. That's part of the formula. All right. So, and we know that our lower fence has to be less than Q1 minus 1.5 IQR. So 16 minus 1.5 times 2 equals 13. That 2 is our IQR. So 16 minus 1.5 times 2 is 13. Our minimum value is 13. So 13 is not less than 13. So there's none on the low side. All right. On the high side, we have 18 plus 1.5 times 2. Remember, this 2 is our IQR. 18 happens to be our Q3 value. So when we do that, we get 21. Well, our max value is 24. So 24 is an outlier. So we definitely have outliers on the high side. Outliers on the high side, none on the low side. Okay, 35. So we have a random sample of golf scores given the following summary statistics, and we have the sample size. we have the X bar. This is the average, that the standard deviation, the minimum, Q1, median, Q3, and max. These numbers right here make up my 5-number summary. Not that they're asking you for it, but if they did, that would be my 5-number summary right there. Now, what we need in order to determine outliers are these values. Okay, so again, determine whether they're outliers using the IQR method. So Q3 minus Q1. So 91 minus 78 gives me an IQR of 13. My lower fence is going to be Q1 of 78 minus 1.5. Remember that 1.5 is just built into the formula, times our IQR of 13, and it gives me 58.5. Well, my minimum value is 58. And guess what? 58 is lower than 58.5. So we have an outlier. We have an outlier on the low side. On the high side, we have 91 plus 1.5. Once again, that's built into the formula. And then our IQR is 13. I should say this just in case I didn't. The 78, that's Q1. This was Q3. So this is Q3 and that's Q1. So 91 Q3 plus 1.5 times 13 is 110.5. My max value is 112. So guess what? 112 is greater than 110.5. So we have an outlier. So in this case, we have outliers on both sides. All right. So don't know where this stops, but this right here is outside the fence, and this right here is outside the fence. They shouldn't be connected. Okay. So I'm going to scratch that out because they shouldn't be connected. But 112 is definitely outside the fence, and 58 is definitely below 58.5. So outliers on both the high side and the low side. All right, using the table below, determine which numbers are outliers. All right, so we need to, once again, focus on the IQR method, which is Q3 minus Q1. So Q3 is 18 minus the 14 gives me 4. So my IQR is 4, and that's embedded into my fences. So Q1 of 14 minus the 1.5, which is part of the formula, times 4, which again was our IQR, gives us 8. So any value less than 8 is an outlier. So in this case, 9 is not less than 8, 8 is not less than 8, but 6 and 7 are. So 6 and 7 are outliers. On the high side, once again, Q3 plus 1.5 IQR, where 18 was our Q3, plus 1.5 times the IQR that we calculated here of 4, and we get 24. All right, so anything above 24 is an outlier. So 24 is not above 24, but 25, 26, 27, and 28 are. So our outliers are 6, 7, 25, 26, 27, and 28. We don't need to write the repeats, but those are our outliers. Okay, I sure hope this helped on outliers. Look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thank you.